Now, the news voting is underway in Algeria, where more than 24 million people are eligible to cast their ballots in the presidential election. Two candidates are challenging Abdelmajid Tebboun's bid for a second term as president. They've all urged voters to turn out after many stayed home during elections back in 2019. Unemployment and rising inflation are among voters' biggest concerns. Osama bin Javeid's in Algeria's capital, Algiers. And Osama, you've been at polling stations throughout the morning. Is there much anticipation around this vote?
Well, Neve, there has been anticipation and excitement amongst the supporters of the three candidates, but there hasn't been enough that we've seen in terms of the youth mobilization. There was a trickle of people who were coming in throughout the day that we were there in the hours. There wasn't any long queues, but it was one of the biggest polling stations in the capital. We've also seen statements and polling from the three candidates which are taking part, and we asked them whether this was just a performative election, because there is anticipation that President Tebboune is going to retake this election. And to discuss all of this and how it is going to further complicate things, with us is Mr. Tebboune. Thank you very much for being with us. Can you describe to us why is there not enough participation or excitement about this election? We've heard everything from this being called early to the summers to many aspects of the society boycotting this election.
I mean, the most important thing that Algerian people, they have to know is the importance of the participation. As we can see, I mean, from the former regime, which is the Bouteflika regime, we got a new era, which is an era of reforms in Algeria, which is a reform of investment law and very sensitive laws, which is even hydrocarbons law, and those and more transparency, more opening for the side of economy, because remember that people were complaining about the lack of transparency and the issue regarding the economy. And those reforms from legal perspective, even if the parliament still now is coming from the former era, that are in place. And what is the most important thing is the next era, we should have the maximum of legitimate this next president to continue those reforms, because they are heavy and structural reforms. And the participation is important. Yes, we can say that because it's coming during the summer, because it's coming, from the beginning of the entrance, the social entrance, maybe people they are not, dealing no more as usual with this election. But personally, I'm expecting a medium rate of participation, even from the certain region, etc.
Now, the question is, how fair are these elections? Because as we were discussing, there are parts of the society which feel that they have been cracked down upon, they're not taking part. We've heard reports from various rights activists saying that there is repression, political activists, journalists have been targeted. So is it really a free and fair election? And what will be the impact of this election on Algeria going forward?
The impact, as I told you, because as you can see, I mean, the situation, you know it better than me, but there are a lot of risk in terms of geopolitical situation in the world, especially, from this is the most important election after sanitary crisis, world sanitary crisis, which is COVID, which is, we faced a very hard time, all people all over the world. This is the main important one, but remember that Algeria is coming from an era where people, they were asking for more transparency, more justice in terms of the owner of the benefit of the economy, of the hydrocarbon, etc. There were very deep reforms in terms of economy. Remember that we have now in place laws including, all the level of population, if they have any expectation for invest, etc., which is very important. But coming to the now for the election of now, people, they were expecting that the candidate or the political sphere, they will not use money. for example. But unfortunately, we saw just before the election that there is an issue in terms of the money, transparency, etc. And I mean, this is the legal reaction, which is normal. We have to comply with this law. Which
Very quickly, what do you think going forward? Because a lot of young people, there's a brain drain in this country. We've heard candidates talk about it. A lot of young people don't find themselves being part of the process, part of the conversation, part of the priority list of this government, and including the middle class as well. Do you think whoever comes to power, it is very likely that it is going to be Mr. Tebboune, but whoever comes to power, do you think there is going to be some sort of concessions to the middle class and especially to the youth of this country?
It is definitely important, and I feel it personally by the candidates. And I'm supposed to be a kind of young people and Algerian, and the generation coming now should make an effort, a serious effort to include the new generation on the future of Algeria. There is a disappointment of young people, definitely, but I think there is a lack of communication because the former generation and new generation, there is a different way to communicate. Social media, they are very impactful, and they can, made a different view of what happened in the country. But honestly, Algeria made a lot of efforts to reform, and the reforms, they are not easy. We should communicate more to explain what was made in Algeria, to make it more transparent, to give same chance for all the people. And the next president, I hope he will continue to make this reform effective on the ground.
Mr. Nadir Sasi, thank you very much for being with us. There you have it. This has been something that we have been hearing from people on the ground as well, that unless there is an inclusive politics, that people on all aspects of society are made part of the conversation and the priorities of whoever takes power, there is not going to be any more hope left in the future of this country, and especially young people who we've spoken to, they want to not just be performatively shown that the government cares for them, but actually be shown in letter and spirit where they have better jobs, better prospects, and are part of the political discourse.
All right, Osama, many thanks for that, and many thanks to your guest as well, Osama bin Javed in Algiers.